How's it going, everybody? I am Jason of Jason's Realm here, and today I am here bringing you guys our NFL Week 13 Power Rankings. There have been a lot of shifts this week. 4 teams are in it that weren't last week, and only 1 team remained the same. But before we dive on into this, don't forget to smash like and smash subscribe, as it helps us out a whole lot. It tells us that we are doing something right and that we should keep doing what we're doing. And also, we will have a public Discord server going live at 200 subscribers. So if you want to hit like and hit subscribe and help us get closer to that mark so we can chill and hang with you guys a little bit more, that would be amazing. And I guess at this point, we'll just dive right in. At number 10, we have the New York Jets, up from being not ranked last week, but they only fell off the list for a week. They have been in this list almost since the beginning of us doing this. Flirting up, the highest they got has been like 6 or 7, but now they are back in at number 10 after a rough couple weeks. They started Mike White finally, so they gave the keys over to him, and I'm probably a little too loud. Let's go ahead and fix this real time. There we go. That's probably a little better. All right. But yeah, Mike White just doing his thing and just leading the Jets to victory. That man was just insane in that last week, leading them to 31 points, finally getting some offense going to complement that defense. So yeah, the Jets are back in at number 10. At number 9, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, up from being not ranked the previous week, and they are now tied with their highest position we have had them on this list. They are looking pretty solid. They did put up a good fight last week and ended up beating... Who did they beat last week? It was a close game. They won on the last play. I know that. It was the Cardinals. Sloppy win, but it was a win nonetheless, and they've been looking good these past couple weeks. So, had to give them a little bit of love. At number 8, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, Kitty Go Meow, making their highest position debut this week. After a strong win, doing their thing. Bengals just rolling their opponents over, and they had a really strong game. And pair that with the fact that other teams are falling out, like the Titans not looking as strong, the Seahawks being meh, the Niners barely beating the Saints. And yeah, that's putting the Bengals up there at number 8. At number 7, we have a team that I have been wanting to put on this list for a long time, but I have not been able to. We have the Washington Commanders. This team, I am high on them. They are going to make a push, and if they make the playoffs, no, actually not if, when they make the playoffs, they will be a threat to make a deep run. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but they could knock out some of the heavy hitters. Like Super Bowl favorites in the Eagles and the Vikings right now, either of those teams could get knocked out by the Commanders. So they cannot overlook the Commanders, and even though they might not make the Super Bowl, they could significantly shift the playoffs. They could be a surprise spoiler team, and yeah, the Commanders are just doing what they gotta do and just winning. They are looking really good with a scary defense, and Taylor Heineke playing a little bit better than Carson Wentz. He's not going to be the quarterback of the future, but he is the quarterback of this year, because he is not doing worse than Carson Wentz. Granted, that's a low bar. At number 6, we have the Dallas Cowboys, staying at the same spot as last week after, all right, they beat the Giants, but the Giants haven't really been playing well. So can you really say that was more the Cowboys playing well or the Giants playing up? I don't know, and because of that, we couldn't raise them over the top 5. The top 5 are pretty much set at this point. Between 5 teams, they'll just be carouseling around, barring anyone falling apart or jumping up. But yeah, the Cowboys they're all right. All right. At number 5, we have the Buffalo Bills falling 1 spot from last week, mostly because they won, but they won by 3 to the Lions. The Lions, yes, they're a sleeper team, but at the same time, you don't go as a hot favorite team, and beat the Lions by 3. You can't afford to do that. So because of that, we couldn't justify keeping them at 4, especially whenever you have another team rising up big time, playing a dominant game these past couple weeks. But anyway, at number 4, we have the Minnesota Vikings, also falling one spot despite a win. And this fall is not because of the way they played, but because of the way, once again, another team has been playing. There's one team that shot up this list 3 spots, and unfortunately jumping both of these two teams. So, doing their thing. The Vikings are still going to be good. They're still a good team. They actually have a chance of clinching the playoffs this year. I thought it was with a win or a Green Bay and Detroit loss. No, it's just with a win or Detroit loss. They clinch the NFC North. So the Vikings have a lot to play for this week to be the first team to clinch a playoff berth this season. At number 3, we have a short-lived reign of a number 1 team, the Kansas City Chiefs, falling 2 spots because, yes, they won by 16, but it was to the Rams. The way that team has been playing, they should have put up significantly more, or they should have shut out the Rams, because that team, they were on their third-string players. You had Bryce Perkins making his first career start. You had a team that has been struggling on the defensive side of the ball late in the game, and you could only put up 26. Pair that with the fact that the top 2 teams still playing dominant football, and they just had to fall back. They fell back to number 3. At number 2, we have a team who has been shooting up the list, playing really good recently, and making their highest position of the year. The Miami Dolphins rising 3 spots from last week. The Dolphins playing 2 dominant games where they could safely shut down their starters halfway through the third quarter. That's what they did against the Texans, and they're just dominating their opponents week in and week out. Undefeated when Tua plays a complete game, losing only 1 game when Tua starts, and that one loss was against the Bengals when he got literally almost killed halfway through it. So the Dolphins playing hot. They're going to be heavy Super Bowl favorites at this point going forward. And finally, at number 1, we have the Philadelphia Eagles back on top of the list after a couple weeks of not being up there. They haven't been number 1 since week 10, but they are back at number 1 with a strong win against the Packers. The defense played well until they ended up doing that prevent defense. So, they did well until it was already over, and the offense just kept flying high. So that's about all we got to say on them. But at this point, we don't really have much else to add. Once again, smash like, smash subscribe. It helps us out a whole lot. Also, I want to make an announcement now. At the end of the season, we will be doing a full 32-team power rankings like I did last year, if you guys remember that far back, or if you were even there that far back before I took like half a year off. But yeah, we will be doing a full 32-team power rankings, probably over 2 parts. But yeah, I guess at this point, we'll just end the video off here. Once again, we'll see you guys tomorrow with our predictions and coverage of Thursday Night Football. Peace out and have a good one.